What's up guys, I'm here on my channel GearedInc, where I get to share what I'm passionate about with you. And on my channel, that's PC tech, games, and gear. And today we're talking about GPUs, GPU scams, and basically why I threw my money away, knowingly. So I've gotten a lot of messages from a lot of you guys talking about, hey, I want to buy this GPU, you know, it's a great deal, but it always ends up being one of these things where it's like from China. Now that doesn't mean that China doesn't manufacture legitimate GPUs, because they do, and this is certainly not the type of GPU that you would find on something like Alibaba, which Linus Tech Tips did a video on. No, this is an eBay GPU, specifically one that was way too low for what it should be. So on eBay, you can find these GPUs, specifically I found a 1050 Ti for $61. That's a huge red flag to begin with, but I purchased it knowing basically that it was probably going to be a scam and waited for it to arrive. Once it got here, I wasted no time in opening it up. One of the things that was really funny is that there's a 6-pin power connector on the outside, which I don't know any 1050 Ti that uses that, as most of them draw their power directly from the motherboard. Also, there's this super legitimate installation CD with absolutely no graphics on it, always a good sign. And on the back of it, there's no display port, but there's a very grimy HDMI port, also a very good sign. So after doing some GPU modding to make myself feel psychologically better about putting this in computer, my wife's computer, are you insane? I'm not putting that thing in mine. I slotted it in and booted it up. Now in preparation for this video, I'd actually already done some benchmarking with my Asus 1050 Ti that I gave away as part of my PC giveaway. I did 4 games that were heavily played, specifically Overwatch, PUBG, Realm Royale, and Battlefield 1, which is still a good game, at least for these type of tests. So slotting this in, I didn't know what to expect in the slightest, but when I pulled up the system information to see if this would even recognize it, I was shocked because it's a 1050 Ti. Did I just win somehow the GPU lottery? No. Basically, guys, even though this is reading as a 1050 Ti, there's some dead giveaways. The first thing you'll notice is that there's only 192 CUDA cores. There's also a boost clock of 900 on the core and 1800 on the memory, which is nowhere near what the same specs for a 1050 Ti should be. So what exactly is this thing? Well, I'm gonna get into that, but let's talk about the gaming experience, or lack thereof. First game I booted up was Overwatch, fully expecting that I'd at least be able to play a little bit, and it got promptly the blue screen of death. Trying the other titles, it was a rinse and repeat, with my computer intermittently shutting down, even just in the desktop. And then on top of that, the only game I was able to load and just stay loaded was PUBG, and I wasn't even able to record that. I had to take a screenshot to show you my juicy 19 FPS on the loading screen on medium settings. So yeah, I wasn't even able to benchmark this thing to show a comparison against a real 1050 Ti. So going back to my earlier comment, what a lot of these are is there are Chinese companies out there that will buy or collect older GPUs. Specifically, the stats on this match up for a GTX 550, which is what it most likely is. However, the disappointment continues, because if this had at least worked, I should have been able to play some Overwatch or something on it, even at low settings, but it continually crashed. On the installation disk itself, we get some driver installs for Windows XP and Windows 8, always a good sign there as well. Something that you'll also notice is that if you don't already have some type of NVIDIA driver loaded on the computer, it won't even read the card, which I tested out as well. So this is most likely a reskin GTX 550, and they've probably messed with the registry to get it to read as a 1050 Ti, even though it can't necessarily fake what's going on inside the GPU itself, which is why we can see the core clock, the boost, and the memory clock that's on the GPU. So a really easy way to have avoided this whole situation would have been just to look at the specs on the website, because on their seller website, they clearly show what you're getting for the GPU. You can compare that against a real 1050 Ti, and right away, that should be a dead giveaway that this is pretty scammy. I mean, literally holding this thing should be illegal. And you know, I knew what I was getting into. It's basically a $60 paperweight at this point. I already asked for a refund. Who knows if I'll get it or how long it'll take. But I wanted to make a video because so many of you guys have been taking advantage of for these type of deals. And just know that if you are going to be buying a GPU used or even new from one of these sites, you're probably going to get scammed. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. If you did, go ahead and leave me a big thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and leave me a thumbs down. I'm going to have my charity announcement video coming out next couple days, so make sure to check for that. As always, thank you to my Patreon supporters, my Twitch subscribers, and thank you to everyone who used my Amazon affiliate link, now more than ever, basically, because, you know, I knowingly basically wasted money on that GPU. So thank you to everyone. If you want to buy some GearedInc merchandise, you can also do so. That's down in the description below as well. But as always, guys, I hope to see all of you next time here on GearedInc.